So how have things like changed for y'all?
To be honest, so the big difference, I don't think I'd ever have been approached. We wouldn't have had interest from journalism students from America to come and to chat to us about our cheese.
Hey there, that's us. We're those American journalism students asking about cheese.
I would love that the cheese was that delicious and people came from America just to talk about the cheese, just because of the cheese.
We went out to Somerset County to the Trethowan Brothers Dairy Farm to watch step by step as they make this cheddary gold. The thing is, I fully expected to find out that they were really bummed out, perhaps even in tough shape, after learning that an order taking up a quarter of their inventory had been a scam. But that's not at all what we found.
I don't think people in Britain appreciate just what amazing food we have in this country, and not just kind of fancy, crazy, copying a French-style cheese. So much so, someone wanted to nick some. So, yeah.
Are you somewhat flattered that your cheese is good enough to be stolen?
In a weird way, yes.
Wait, flattered? It's definitely not what we thought we would hear. I'm Juliana Simon, and this is Chasing Cheddar. Episode 2, The Cheesier the Better.
We woke up, we nearly missed our initial train to Bristol.
Hello.
We made it barely made it.
Nice to meet you.
Ian, nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us.
You're very welcome.
Since we first heard about this story, I've been wondering, why was this particular cheese chosen? Why cheddar?
What you're really tasting, the unique characteristics of our cheese, you could directly put back to the type of cows, the breed of cow, how they're farmed, what they're feeding. And you can even tell, when you're doing the make, you can even tell what the weather's been like.
So, on a gloomy and rainy, typical for England kind of day, we go past the cityscapes, through the rolling hills, to a dairy farm just outside of the town of Cheddar. Today we're visiting Trethowan Brothers Dairy, one of the 3 farms that produced all of that now vanished cheese.
And these are some of the old traditional heritage starters.
Ben Ticehurst is the manager and head cheesemaker here.
So we get to keep that very traditional flavour of the cheddar.
Trethowan Brothers started 30 years ago by, you guessed it, 2 brothers, Todd and Moggan. It was originally Todd's idea to make cheese at his family's farm in Wales. After seeing success, they decided to build a bigger operation in Somerset, England. And when they get here, they switch gears because when near cheddar, you make cheddar. That's what this community is all about. The story of the origin of cheddar is actually really cool. For this slice of history, my colleague Jason Steinfeld takes over for a bit.
Legend has it, cheddar cheese was first discovered by accident, perhaps by a milkmaid who left a pail of milk in a cool, damp cave. The result? A naturally formed cheese, matured by the cave's unique climate. Cheese, specifically cheddar cheese, has a fascinating backstory. It's a cultural icon that's been shaping English history, culture, and taste buds for over 900 years. It gets its name from the village of Cheddar, nestled in Somerset County in southwest England. A quaint, green landscape, Cheddar is best known for its dramatic limestone gorge and ancient caves. But it's what aged in those caves that changed culinary history. By the 12th century, records show that cheddar cheese was being produced on a large scale. Even King Henry II was a fan. In 1170, he ordered 10,240 pounds of it for court feasts. That's roughly the weight of 2 modern SUVs. In cheese. It wasn't just food, it was status. If you served cheddar, you were showing off, and that tradition carried through the centuries. For centuries, cheddar was a farmhouse cheese, made by hand in cottages and dairies across Somerset. But the 19th century brought a transformation. Industrialization. Enter Joseph Harding, the so-called father of modern cheddar. In the 1860s, Harding revolutionized the process. Thanks to Harding, cheddar evolved from a regional specialty into a product that could be exported around the world. During the Victorian era, cheddar was shipped across the British Empire. It became a staple of both the upper and working classes, equally at home, at high tea, and in a miner's lunchbox. But something was lost in that growth. As production scaled up, the cheese got younger, blander, and, some would argue, less characterful. Despite industrialization, cheddar never lost its place in English culture. From war rations to holiday spreads, cheddar became embedded in English life. During World War II, it was practically the only cheese available. The national cheddar was produced, rationed, and while not the most flavorful, kept a nation nourished. Post-war, cheddar bounced back with variety and vigor. Today, over half the cheese consumed not just in England but in the UK is cheddar. It's the go-to sandwich filler, pub snack, and Sunday dinner companion. And of course, no proper plowman's lunch is complete without a thick slab of mature cheddar, crusty bread, pickles, and a pint of ale. In the late 20th century, something exciting began to happen, a farmhouse cheddar revival. Cheesemakers in Somerset and beyond returned to traditional methods, raw milk, cloth-bound wheels, aging in caves, rejecting mass production in favor of heritage. This movement sparked a broader artisan cheese boom across the UK and a renewed respect for cheddar's roots. In 1996, West Country Farmhouse Cheddar received protected designation of origin status under EU law. That means only cheese made in Somerset, Dorset, Devon, or Cornwall using traditional methods can bear the name. Cheddar isn't just cheese anymore. It's an ongoing conversation about local English food, tradition, culture, and identity. The craft lives on. At places like the Cheddar Gorge Cheese Company, you can watch wheels being hand-turned and matured, just as they say it has been since medieval times. It's a reminder that while cheddar has become a global brand, its soul still belongs to a small Somerset village, between the limestone cliffs and the ancient caves. Cheddar isn't just a food, it's a story, a cultural legacy that continues to evolve with every wheel turned, every cave-aged crumb, every plowman's bite, and a reminder to never underestimate the power of a great cheese.
Do you guys like cheese? I think that was a yes.
Gorgeous Cow, do you have thoughts on who committed the cheese heist?
She's poking your head out so much.
Gorgeous Cow just tried to eat our microphone.
The easiest way to do it is to sit down on there,
Back at the farm,
put the shoe cover over one shoe, swing that leg over, and then put the other shoe cover on.
we suit up in blue hairnets and protective shoe gear and go into production with Ben.
So the milk comes in, it'll gently be warmed up.
What we learn is that a ton goes into making this cheese. It's not called artisan for no reason.
I think most cheddar makers think we're a bit crazy.
Super meticulous.
Yeah, we're slightly crazy. We're obsessed by attention to detail.
Not only is it art and science, it's manpower. There is no automation here. Everything is done by the hands of 9 employees. They're playing Halo by Beyonce. That's great. Theme cheese making music.
So you've got your liquid milk is now a certain part of it.
Ben shows us each step of the day-long process of making one batch of their signature pitchfork cheddar.
The casein is all setting together, it's joining together.
It's called that because of this noise. I would say they're using pitchforks, large pitchforks, to mix the cheese all together.
This increase in temperature is driving out moisture, making that curd, those little split pea-sized bits of curd, a bit firmer. We'll do that for 2 hours, and we'll keep stirring, keep stirring. Now we need to cool the curd down.
When it's ready, Ben and his team load it into truckles, those iconic wheel-shaped blocks of cheese. And then it's taken to a giant freezer, and it'll sit here for a full year before it goes anywhere near a store where you can buy it.
This is what makes cheddar, this key stage.
It smells really good. What does it smell like?
Cheese.
Yum. The whole thing is a super labor-intensive process, and that's what makes it so special and valuable.
You ask Todd and Morgan what it's been like to make cheese for 30 years, so probably their advice would be, don't go into it. It's just you'll never make any money. You'll be working really hard, and yeah, you'll get a beautiful cheese at the end of it, but it's a lot of work.
By the end of the tour, you can see why it's such a risk. The giant fridge is filled, wall to ceiling, with truckles that the dairy won't profit from for at least 12 months. When it's ready to go, you can tell by the level of mold.
Those little patches have started to spread out and completely cover the cheeses. Those patches of mold are getting bigger and more colourful. You're getting greens, greys, blues.
This is all super cool, but to be honest, it is starting to make us hungry. Don't worry, Ben has us covered.
The more I learn, the more I like cheese.
Did anyone in your family encourage you to get into this business? Or you just genuinely love cheese?
I just like cheese. It's not a sensible career move in terms of money.
After eating it, I totally understand why it is so valued. But I am still genuinely surprised that they were kind of excited it was stolen.
Is there almost a sick sort of pride in that it was, good enough to steal? Hi, that's me, Ian Curtis. I'll take it from here.
Someone wanted them so much, they were prepared to steal them. Like, you'd steal a Ferrari, you'd steal a Rolls Royce. You don't think of stealing cheddar.
Let's look at this purely from a business perspective.
Oh, it's an endorsement that actually these cheeses are really good. We should be proud of our British cheeses.
Trethewin Brothers and the two other farms, Westcombe Dairy and Holden Farms Dairy, actually didn't make out so badly in this heist. They are not what you'd consider traditional victims of a crime. Of course, no one likes being deceived.
So Tegan, the lady you saw who's running the make today, she probably felt it more than any of us because she physically packed up all the cheeses.
But the reality for the Trethewin brothers was, sold or stolen, their cheese was gone regardless.
As the maker, I'm so focused on getting the cheese to taste nice here, but once it goes to the packing room, you're focused on the next batch. And so seeing all those cheeses leave, I was like, yay, we've done our bit, we've sold it, it's gone. I think if I was at Neil's yard, you would feel gutted because you want that cheese, you want that joy of knowing that cheese is going to a customer who's going to eat it and taste it, maybe try your cheese for the first time and experience that wonderful flavour, and then you think, oh, it's just ended up in you don't know where it's gone.
Neil's Yard Dairy, the middleman distributor, they were the actual victims in the eyes of the police. They were the targets of the theft. Despite our best efforts, Neil's Yard Dairy declined to talk to us for this podcast. Despite a delay with the insurance payout, they publicly said that they paid the cheesemakers so the farmers would not have to bear the cost of the theft themselves.
A major player in the artisan cheese industry, that impact is massive.
That's Andy Swinsko, a British cheesemonger and the operator of Courtyard Dairy. He works with farmers and producers on the selling side of the business, just like Neil's Yard.
I think, if I'm speaking to David, who's the managing director at Neil's Yard Dairy, the way that community rallied around him and provided support, even in things like cards, food, Eccles cakes, as well as, like financial and just moral support, really is that flip side of that fraud. It brings out the best.
Another one of those positives, this wasn't just a compliment to British cheese. In a weird sort of way, the thief paid Britain itself a compliment. For a nation that doesn't tend to be outwardly boastful in the way Americans are used to, having a commodity like cheese nicked and sold abroad is an excuse to take pride in a national product that's been produced in Britain for hundreds of years.
It's not patriotic to be patriotic in Britain. It's seen as un-British. You need that kind of stiff upper lip, quite stoical, and we don't wave the flag for our produce, and we should do, but this is maybe a way of doing it in a very British way. Something that could be seen as adversity, we go, well, that's good for us, and this is our cheese is really good, but we don't have to shout and wave flags but maybe the world will know about our cheese a bit more.
Andy says the British cheese community has tried to shift the narrative towards cheesemongering and away from fear-mongering.
You just need to have due diligence, have care, have procedures in place, but actually you can spend your life worrying, whereas we're here to make a positive change for farmhouse cheese in Britain. And actually let's take the positive out of the cheesemakers are out there, what they're doing, the way they're farming sustainably, and rather than trying to worry about the bad people out there, because they've got to carry on living their life, and it's only going to get worse for them. Those mafia bosses, they never have a happy ending, do they?
Wait a minute. Did he just say mafia bosses? That's next time on Chasing Cheddar. Chasing Cheddar is a production of Switchboard Magazine and IEI Media. It's hosted collaboratively by me, Ian Curtis, along with Marley Card, Juliana Simon, Madeline Green, Cole Jarvis, Lauren Blanton, and Jason Steinfeld. We all co-produced it alongside Lily Bartolucci and Zoe DeHaan. Our executive producers are Sarah Ganem and Celia Aniskovich. Music for this series comes from Epidemic Sound. Special thanks to the Pod Shop in London and IEI Media Program Director Eileen Prusher. Thanks for listening, and remember, life's better when it's a little cheesy.